Hi there, and welcome to the Experience Podcast. My name is Dennis, and with me today I have two very special guests, Alisa and Neil, and I will let you introduce yourself and a little bit about yourself as well.
All right. My name is actually Alisa.
All right, sorry.
That's okay. Everybody says it wrong. Alisa Pikaart, and I'm also known as the Unicorn Whisperer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I am a multi-dimensional spiritual being having a human experience. And like with the unicorn thing, is that a name that you came up with yourself, or was that, where does that come from?
That actually comes from a lot of people began to know me as just being a unicorn. I was always sparkly all the time and happy and joyful and spreading a positive message and light and love. And so then I became known as the Unicorn Whisperer. So I speak to other unicorns through my positive message.
Wow.
And the unicorn really is a symbol of, magic and bravery and fierceness and just unlimited possibilities that you can be to be the best human, but you're a unicorn.
Wow. So when you said earlier unicorn, and then you said unicorn whisper, when you say you're the unicorn whisperer, do you whisper other unicorns to empower, to inspire themselves or what does that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Exactly that.
Okay.
It is exactly that. I do. I've been through so many hardships in my life that I feel like I have so much wisdom to share with other people, and then I can relate, the things that they go through in their life just as hard, and they can feel so alone. And when you're alone, you're not able to be who you are, and that you're not able to reach your full potential. So, yeah.
So what would you say to somebody that is feeling alone at the present? What kind of advice or what would you say to somebody that's feeling that way?
Man, you're not alone. You're not alone. I promise you. And coming from someone, I've struggled with a suicide from as long as I can remember. And there's been so many times I felt alone. And even though you hear you're not alone, sometimes it doesn't always resonate. So to have somebody in your life who has been through something that they're going through, that you can really connect with, and hear their story of hope, just a little bit of hope can go a long way.
To have that conversation, to express what you're feeling. It's might not necessarily be fun to talk about, but it's you are talking about it,
right?
And that's important.
And it's so real and so prevalent, and even throughout my friend group, it's sad to see, but to know that there's somebody there for you. And even those people who don't have somebody there, who don't feel like they have somebody there, there's still help. There's been plenty of times when myself, I've used the NAMI suicide hotline prevention number, and you can just text in, and it's totally anonymous. Nobody judges you, it's just a person there to listen and to help and to get you through that moment, because sometimes that's all it is a few moments of doubt. And your life can be gone in a moment, but if someone's there just in that very moment,
Sure.
Yes.
it can go.
And I just want anybody that's listening to this, if you don't have somebody, if you do feel like you're alone and you don't have anybody to talk to, I'm gonna put my contact info in the bottom of this video. So just putting that out there.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yes. That's
To
beautiful.
always be available to somebody, and
Yes.
Correct.
if you're walking a path of love and light, you're there for people to do that naturally.
Sure.
And I think that's important piece too. The person can feel your intent and your intentions. And
Where does your confidence come from?
Oh, gosh. I still feel like I struggle to find that a lot. But I think it's all the things that I went through as a child and, as a late adult, the struggles that I've overcome, just continue to overcome them, and I'm here and I'm still positive and I'm still trying to, spread my message of love and light and
It's
really
amazing,
help
like,
people.
we've collectively overcome every single struggle that has ever happened. Everybody who's alive right now
Yeah.
has overcome every single struggle that's ever happened.
And let me tell you, I've been through some shit. I've had my
That's
fair share of
amazing.
struggles, and yeah, like we're all here and that is an amazing thing to see.
So what is like the most pivotal or like life transforming thing that you've gone through, or has it been mostly just small things along the way that, or not small things, but like has it been have they all been significant, do you feel?
There's been some major ones in my life. Not many people know this, but as a child, I grew up in a religious cult and we were punished for being ourselves. Literally,
Wow.
we couldn't cut our hair, you couldn't wear makeup, you had to wear dresses down to your knees or past your knees, and you couldn't watch TV, you couldn't listen to secular music, it had to be religious. And
That's a real thing, and it's still going on
it
today.
still goes on very
It's-
strong today.
It's like almost sickening that it still exists today. People are living in cults like today.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was the name of that? Was it, you said it was a religion? Or-
Yeah, Apostolic Pentecostal
Okay,
is the religion.
that's very interesting. I actually grew up Amish,
Okay,
so I can kind of relate on certain things. I
yeah,
mean, maybe, but maybe not, but I do feel that I kind of grew up in a little confined box.
and when that happens to somebody, you stifle who they are and who their potential of who they can become.
Sure,
And I think that also, that leads to suicide ideation as well. You feel so trapped and nowhere to go, and you can't really, as a child, you can't disobey your elders,
because you probably had teachers and you probably had the religious people and everybody that you were surrounded with was in this culture. Is that,
That's
am
correct,
I
yeah.
correct understanding?
Yeah, so
Okay.
there was no escape at that point.
Sure,
And it wasn't until a late teenager, I finally escaped and began living my life. Well, when you live in a small box for so long, you go wild when you're out of that box.
It's like a beach ball, like pressed underneath the water. That beach
Yeah,
ball is
it
gonna
comes
pop
back
out.
with vengeance. So, I went through, I experienced life at that point,
Sure.
for a while. And I think it was probably in my early 20s, I had started an office job and I started doing a lot of digital design and doing their websites, and I really found my passion in creating there, in that sense. And I worked there for 15 and a half years, but over the course of those years, my light began to dim.
ooh,
And
what was the reason? Or what was some contributing factors for that?
I think in that sector, nonprofit, there's a lot of things that, you have to rely on the state to pay for and fund. And it kicked me around in different jobs for a while, but
About contributing factors that
Yeah.
were relating to, as you were like
So-
doing your work about not being so happy anymore, like what were some
Yeah.
contributing factors for that?
we did go through a couple different mergers and.
Wow, that could really be a contributing factor.
Yeah. They really stole the joy, and I began to work so much, 60 to 80 hours a week, and I was salary. So I wasn't getting any more money, but I believed in their message,
Sure.
you know, and who the community that we were supporting, but I began to see that I was missing out on my own children's lives. And I just became more and more resentful, and then after the second merger, my position was eliminated, and that was in 2017, and it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Okay.
You know, I came onto the scene and I was able to expand my mind and really see how unhappy I had become, and how I didn't want that for my children, you know, they'd already seen too much at
Yes.
that point. They've already been robbed too much. And one of the recent podcasts that you guys did, you were talking about the job, the joy over boredom kind of thing. And I
Yes.
knew, I never wanted to answer to anybody again. It was
Sure.
gonna be myself. And it was gonna be a message that I could get behind for myself. And no one was gonna take that away from me this time. So then that's when I opened up my boutique.
And is this what we're looking at right here?
It is,
So
it is.
I think that's an amazing message that, I mean, that you went from being in this closed-minded organization, and then you were 15 and a half years of being kind of just your growth was stunted. And now, like, I'm very excited to hear more about what you have here.
Yeah, so I originally started out in this 5 years of, I really wanted to make empowering, inspiring jewelry for people. So a lot of it, I'll show you here. Like, be strong and courageous.
Okay.
Wow.
A lot of things with like positive messages and healing crystals, you know, for their metaphysical properties. Began making a lot of that. And then more recently, probably within the last year, during a really low time in my life, with suicide, Grizz, the artist,
Okay.
his songs really inspired me. And I began to kind of research about him a little bit more and found out, you know, that he had recently come out of the closet for being gay himself and as an adult. And I found that very touching. And he really works with a lot of schools, and he has a whole program with his songs. And it touched me so much that he donated a lot of money to the Trevor Project. And that's the world's largest LGBTQ suicide prevention hotline for youth.
Wow.
Okay.
So that really touched me. And so I really wanted to begin to connect with people who felt like they couldn't come out of the closet themselves, maybe.
Sure.
But also the ones that can. Also, people who just support the community. And in doing this with the research, I found out that there's over 100 pride flags. It's not just the rainbow flag.
Okay.
So like I brought this today to show you guys, like this is just a handful of them.
Okay.
And usually when we think of pride, you know, we think about it 1 month a year in June. You know, that's the Pride Month and everybody's wearing their rainbow stuff. And so we think of the rainbow flag. But there are, within that spectrum, there are still subgenres of other, you know, cultures within that. So what I started
Could
doing.
you read some of those
Oh, yeah.
for the audience and the listeners?
Yeah, so we have bisexual flags, transgender, non-binary, demi-boy, demi-girl, gender fluid, genderqueer, pansexual. There's just a ton of different ones.
I didn't realize that they actually have flags for all those different words. That is.
Yeah,
wow.
and there's over 100, and this is probably like, I don't know, 25.
Okay.
So there are just a ton out there, and I really wanted to have people be able to express themselves even when they felt they couldn't. So there's a lot of things where maybe somebody doesn't necessarily want to wear the rainbow flag, they don't feel safe. There are other flags that often people identify with, for example, a bisexual flag. And so I'm pulling them off the wrong spot. Or we'll just use the lesbian flag, for example. Well, not many people are gonna look at this and be like, oh my God, she's a lesbian. You
Sure.
know, so it's more subtle. And a lot like with the crystal jewelry, these other ones, these are all flags that people could wear and identify, and like they would be able to feel safe in an office job, where when I worked at the office job, I didn't want anybody to know, you know, that I was out of the closet, because I was gonna be judged. And
Sure.
funding with the state, you really couldn't do that. You had to be very careful about who you were. So
Yes,
my jewelry is for those people who don't feel safe entirely, but still want to express themselves every day, not just 1 month a year, you know, so.
And
wow,
it's something that they can, it's a little reminder that they're safe.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
safe, they can be themselves, they
Yeah.
are who they are,
Sure.
they're
You know,
unique.
they are, each one is unique. And even like, it's not just, like I said, for people who are out of the closet or still haven't come out, it's still for people who have, support for the community and believe in the message.
Sure.
And I actually made each one of you a bracelet. This is the Ally Pride flag.
Okay.
So the black and white means that you're a supporter of the
Okay.
community.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wow,
You're
that is
welcome.
amazing.
Thank you.
And they're made out of lava stones, so you can
Okay.
add some essential oils right on there.
I
I like to do
literally
that.
have a bracelet with lava stone on
Yes,
right now.
awesome.
And I have, I'm wearing, obsidian.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, perfect. Yes, I love crystals.
Same.
And these, I have a bead addiction. I have a ton of beads, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make a ton of that.
Do you charge these before you send them out? Do you do
I
any?
do, I stage them. I
Okay,
staged all my jewelry before I send it out.
nice. And, for the people that may not know what that means, can you explain a little bit about like what that does to the crystal?
Yeah, it definitely clears any energies that have been left behind, so that it's able to have its properties used to the max.
Yes.
You know, like lava stone's a very grounding stone, and by saging it, that's, you know, you get that full power up in there.
Mhm.
So, and can people, now you have an Etsy store too?
I do have an Etsy store.
Okay,
Yep, and you can find that right off my website, link right off to there, and Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, not Twitter, sorry, TikTok.
okay.
And that's theunicornwhisperer.com.
Unicorn Whisperer Boutique.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like with this vision of like these bracelets, like how did that come about from being, so let's say like working at this place for 15 years, like where did this vision begin to come about for bracelets?
I really I like bracelets in general, like I always have a ton on. But really the flags, it was really inspiration from Grizz. I didn't feel safe coming out until last year, actually. And that's when I was researching on him. So when I found out he came out as an adult, I was like, you know, what's stopping me from living my truth?
Sure.
So he was really just a big inspiration to me, and I feel like I want to spread that to other people. Because I know that there's other people who have been where I've been, and freedom of expression is just, it's everything. We get this one life to live, you know, we get one chance at it. And time is fleeting, you know?
How do you perceive time and the passage of it?
That's a loaded question. Well, sometimes it goes real quick. Sometimes not. I don't know, in what context?
In the aspect of like just literally like the aspect of, does it seem to be a single moment to you, or does it seem like many moments of a entire moment? So like say broken into frames or one continuous moment?
I feel like frames.
Frames?
I feel like they're frames because you just have so many experiences in life, and there's always a beginning and an end to that experience. For the most part, I mean, some can be continuing for a while, but in general, there's a start and end point. So I feel like, yeah, frames.
Could frames perhaps be memories?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see how could they couldn't.
That's like a thought process that I've been like imagining recently, and I was curious to see how you resonated with that, or what your perception of time is.
Well, man, that's a good one. I don't know, I just think it's continuing, and I'm just really grateful that it does continue, because that means you're still alive. You're still here to experience things. And I think probably the more painful things are maybe the things that feel longer than not.
A question that I want to ask is, if you were done with that anyways, is, so when you first got here today, you said that you felt that you were an introverted person. Do you feel like this shop that you have here, do you feel like that's the way that you can, is that like an kind of capitalizing on that weakness that you have? Like tapping into that, using that as your strength?
Yeah, I think so. I'm able to wear my jewelry and really, I don't know, I really connect with it, and I feel that inner strength that it does bring, not just from the metaphysical properties, but from the symbolism
Sure,
of
Yes.
it as well.
because you know that every other person that will wear this will feel the same way that you do,
Right,
or that you did.
right.
Yeah,
And, you know, we're all different, but it's still something that can bring people together,
sure.
you know? And so a lot of it, I create a lot of unique pieces where it's just one of a kind. And then there are the other ones that, you know, I can make more of. But I vended at a couple of festivals last year with the new Pride stuff, and it went really well.
Good.
People really resonated with it and the message, and yeah, I'm really happy with where it's going.
Okay, wonderful.
That's amazing.
That is.
So can people, the people that are watching this, can they go on your site and like order custom crystal bracelets, or do you have, I guess I should have checked out your site before you got here.
That's okay.
But yeah, so like, can they customize it, or?
Yeah, so if somebody wanted to have a special flag, that's what I'm here for, you know, I love to make custom jewelry, that's my
Okay.
favorite. But yeah, I want everybody to feel like they're represented. And really, there's a big pride market out there, but it's a lot of just rainbow, a lot of the same kind of things. And
Sure.
you know, I'm all about being unique and being different. And so, yeah, they can definitely contact me and have custom crystals in there and have the flag that they want. Absolutely willing to work with people like that.
So, and what's your contact info, and like where can people reach out to you and connect with you at?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and that's all at Unicorn Whisperer Boutique. And you can link all those to right off of my website, which is
Awesome.
unicornwhispererboutique.com.
Okay. So you can add my Snapchat at neilman25.
And you can add me on Facebook at one Dennis Miller, facebook.com/one Dennis Miller.
Thanks again for coming out, and like where your feet are, like that just says something, and it's a real thing, and like, thank you for being present fully and being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great
Absolutely.
experience.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for stepping into your power and letting your light shine. Because I feel like that's what you need to do too.
Yeah, that's what we're here to spread, that
Yes.
message for sure.
Stay blessed, stay multi-dimensional, continue experiencing.